Cancel that for now. Can you see this stream? Where is um? Oh, 1 sec. Trying to find. Oh, like a YouTube. No. Um. Okay. YouTube, my content. Not quite sure what the here it is. Progress. Okay, I'm hearing my own voice. Stop. Okay, so here, I go to this URL in YouTube.
Okay, you can stream it on YouTube.
Yeah. So through
Right,
OBS, because I can't. This widescreen. That's one that I haven't really. Yeah, there we go. Okay. What's the resolution like? Is it okay? You,
okay, I'm watching you.
you're watching me?
It
Can
looks
you read?
fine. I'm full screen. I can read the text. Yeah, it looks fine.
It looks fine. Okay, good. So this is what's called JetBrain Riders. It's a C++ specific editor, right? That's used that has very tight integration with Unreal Engine. So basically, I can launch, and it has AI in it too. But it doesn't have like some of the advanced stuff I'm going to show you in the other. So basically, what I have is this is the same project, except that Visual Studio Code is really a general purpose IDE. It has like C++ stuff in it, but it's really made for web development, right? For mobile apps or maybe a website. It really isn't made for Unreal Engine. This one is. They both have AI, but this one has better AI. But and I'll show you just a second. So from this one, I can just hit debug, and it's going to start Unreal Engine. Okay. All right. And now I'll. Okay. There it says build succeeded, and it has a bunch of cool integrations like here it says no derived blueprint, meaning that there's nothing in the editor that is using this class. It's kind of neat. And you can step through your game, blah blah blah. So if you use C++, and actually Unreal is actually developing an internal AI so you can just talk to it like, hey, create an object. When the player clicks on this, make it explode. It'll just do it, right? So
Oh my god, that would be incredible.
they are working on it. So but this is very similar, and I'll show you in just a second. So
That would like decrease development time dramatically.
yes, and it also will allow, like, maybe if you're like, for me, I'm not a C++ guy, right? So so it really just enhances my stuff. So here's a game, right? So you can play
Okay,
it.
so this is the game. Yep.
This
Okay.
is like the starter. Like when you create a brand new project, this is what you get, right?
Gotcha.
All right, so
Hello World of Unreal Engine.
exactly, this is Unreal's a third-person game, Hello World. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back to VS Code. And I'm gonna ask VS Code. I'm actually put up on my own. So under the hood, I've configured it to use Gemini, but since I'm paying for it, I didn't need Megan's new phone allowed me to have unlimited the use of Google's Gemini for a year, but I could also just use the one that Copilot gives me for free. But not free. It's $10 a month. But this, I'm just decide. Maybe I just bring my own key. But anyway, so it has ask, edit, agent mode, and in ask mode, you can ask it things like, "Hey Copilot, tell me about this project." And then it'll just work. So I'm in ask mode, meaning it won't write any code for me, right? Whoop. Oh, yeah, hold on. Oh, yeah, maybe it doesn't like this. I just reconfigured this. So hold on a second. Let's go 3.7. Thinking. Read run it. Okay. And then it's reading. It's going through my code base, right? It's using 67. I'm just asking to see if
How,
understand what this
how,
project is.
how does this thing connect to your other Unreal Engine code?
So it kind of the Unreal Engine code is just it's just a generic
Oh, it's right
project, right?
there. Okay.
Right.
I didn't
So
see you had it.
it's
Okay,
it's
you had it
this
open.
yeah. So it's the same project. It's open to the same folder, right? So and it's a,
Oh,
here it is. It
okay.
says this appears
That's
to be Unreal.
confusing.
What's that?
Okay. I don't fully understand, but that's fine. That's fine. Continue on.
Not gonna use thinking model. I'm gonna back. It's a little slow. So this appears to be an Unreal Engine project called UE Codex. That's why I named it. There's has two plugins which I manually added. It's right. I added this one open source. Has some nice quality of life stuff for C++. It has this quick actions, which is kind of quality of life for like inside the editor. I can do some cool stuff. It has a base project and it should be a third person. It has that's all correct. All right. So now I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can say like now I can go to agent mode and I can say like uh I can prompt and say like create a class that's derived from the actor class called game board spawner. Okay. All right. So all right. So now it's gonna. Okay. It says, "Oh, hey, I'll create for you, based on the A actor. I'll need to create the header source file. Let's check the project structure to understand how C++ class are organized." So it's going to check this, and actually it can search the internet too, right? So like see, it can search all kinds of stuff. So let's start by generating headers, and there it is right there. So it created this class for me, right? So
Did it just add it in there too?
yeah, it generated the
Oh,
file,
wow.
wrote to it, but guess what? It's wrong. So I'll correct it in just a second.
Tell me how it's wrong.
Because by convention, the CPP that this file should be in the public folder, and this file should be in the it's just put in the wrong place is all. So because it doesn't
Okay.
know about Unreal's convention, but I'm about to go tell it to fix it. So now it said
So
this is
you
what
have okay, so you try to do one thing and it's wrong. So you have to obviously know a little bit about what you're doing.
exactly, and
I
also yeah, you
yeah.
can also once you correct it, you can actually go and give it some rules. It says anytime you create a new class, put it in the right place, right? So this
Mm.
actually will work. It's just not conventionally they're supposed to go in different places, right? Yeah, it says this class is ready to use and follow Unreal standard, which it doesn't actually, right? So it says I created this. It says, hey, I created this for you. The source file, the board, customizable. It even guessed that this is a game board based on the name. It's added width and height, right? And it added optional static mesh. This is exactly what I wanted. I just didn't say it, right? Like adjustable
Hmm.
tile. So a scene component. It dynamically created tile component. Okay, so um, so now it even tells me how to use it. Go into the level, add a mesh, change the size, and it will automatically generate. All right. So all right. So now I can tell it like, I'll say, um, by convention, the header file should be in the public folder, and the CPP file should be in the private folder. right? So I'll fix that for you. You're right. In Unreal, it's common to organize source files with headers in the public and implementation in private. Let me reorganize the game board file according to this convention. I see that I need to create this folder. No, it does. It's right there, dude. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It'll probably try to create, but it didn't. It should find these two folders. Yeah, I did it, right? There's a header file, right?
Wow.
And then it's working. And I mean, it actually should be much faster, but
Yeah, well, why is it slow?
it's like you actually you
What is
can
it
like
doing right now?
yeah, so it you can actually see it think sometimes. It's yeah, it's basically it's
Is this
maybe
limited to your computers?
it's
This is all online. This is all cloud-based, right?
right. It is cloud. It's actually reaching out to Claude 37 from a company called Anthropic, owned by Amazon,
Mm,
and it's sometimes the network connection or they may have capacity issues, so
sure,
it varies, right? So,
sure.
but
So the language model that you use for your work, is that stored on a cloud or is that like on your own
mm,
servers?
no, it's stored in the cloud, but it is private, right? They guarantee that
Okay, sure,
it's not going to be shared across.
sure,
Um,
sure.
okay, so it's actually thinking and looking at like, hey, edit it. Let me fix. It says I found something, I fixed it, and then like I need to update, and not by working. Okay, okay, it's fixing the include paths. Nice. So these are wrong because I haven't compiled it, and C plus what is it called? Visual Studio won't know, but it should writer should know. So all right, it says, hey, now that I move these here, let's delete these files, and then it says, can I run this command, and I'll let it run that. These two should go away. So
Where did it find, and you, I'm trying to remember the very first prompt that you wanted was game board spawner. Did you, how did you tell it that? I forget. Did you tell it to look for game board spawner or did you say,
no, I that's I asked it that. I said, hey, create a class called GameBoard Spawner. So
okay, okay.
so do you see how like it even look it even ran some commands in my shell, and I said, and it didn't work, and it saw the error and edited it because I'm using PowerShell, right, and not command. So yeah, so now see those are gone and they moved up there. So it's now working. So now what I'm gonna do is unfortunately when you create a new oh, it didn't exist. When you create a new class, you have to recompile Unreal. So I'm gonna recompile, and let's see if it works, right? So
Okay.
it says header file. The game board class is now properly organized according to Unreal conventions, while maintaining all the functionality we previously implemented. You can now use this. And look, it actually built without errors, which I'm gonna tell you, I like how like I I I one shotting this is kind of. I mean, it may not work, but it compiled, right? So, and I'm like, what the hell? So yeah. So let's see if it works. So
So
it's set
all
to.
you've done is you've added a new class
Mm-hmm.
that it created. It took a class,
Mm-hmm.
an already existing class, right? You
Right.
just put it in there.
It's object oriented, right? It said I want a class that derives from actor, right? So here's the thing, right? So
Sure.
in order to give it these prompts, you have to know, you have to be. I, I don't. It's hard to describe, but like, um, imagine like, imagine if you're an artist, right, and you can't actually touch the canvas, and you have to describe to someone how to move a brush in a certain way to make something. And
Yeah.
if you don't know how to do that, and you don't have a name for some of the techniques, whoever you're telling to do something isn't going to know what to do,
Right.
right?
Right.
So the thing is that I think somebody still has to give that command, right? So and know the techniques, and that's why I feel somewhat safe still to have a job, even though AI is doing a lot of work.
Sure.
So So now if you look the, here, there's a new class called GameBoard Spawner, right?
Uh-huh.
This wasn't here before. The question mark means it's new and it hasn't been committed to the source control. So I'm like, well, let's test it out. So I'll drag it the into the scene here, right? Um, and let's delete that. Hold on, let me move away from this level. Let's move over here. Um, all right. So now if I, what did it say to do? Like add specify a mesh, right? So each
Yeah.
the board will have like board tiles, right? So let's um let's pick like I don't know um some sort of square. Aha, control rig solid. Okay, so I pick that mesh. Let's go to like 10. So solid. Okay, so how you see how it's like it's not rendering anything?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go take a look why that doesn't work. So let's try. How about box? Is there a box? Um, Floor. Here we go. All right. So, um, so you can tell it like, um, let me save this real quick, and then I'll say like, so let's go take a look at why it didn't work. So, but by the way, I already went through this exercise once, so like it does take a few shots, and I have some ideas how to fix it. But, so let's look at what it created. So it created this. Let me close this real quick. So there's a this is the component. Tick is true is fine. Spawn board elements. So clear if there's no time mesh worn. It creates some sort of offset. Okay, so it's looping through the width and height. Start location. Create a component. Set relative. Okay, so you can now you can chat with it and say, not this one. Uh, let's say I specified a mesh in the editor, but but nothing is spawning, right?
Yeah.
Let's
That's
take a look
that's
at the
that's
output
true.
logs too. I'm not seeing anything in the output log, so it's thinking. It says, hey, why isn't it new component?
All of you troubleshoot. This code fucking sucks.
Yeah, right. It can be bad. It really can. Like I this exact thing. Here's the thing. You have to like be very specific, right?
Yeah.
So I am wondering why it's not spawning. So let's take a look. There's the board spawner, right? Wait, first of all, did I follow its direction? Let's go take a look when it first created. It says adjustable height. Using it, you can place assign a static mesh. I did that. Adjust it. Yeah, there it is. So let's see what it said. Um, it said it's reading, thinking, reading. Here are the issues. It says the main problem is that we're using new static mesh for runtime component creation, but this approach requires additional setup to work properly. Let's fix it. Okay, we'll update the header file. So that looks more right. This new object isn't going to work because it creates it in memory, but it's not actually in the game. So see that has the thing, right? So you still have to know. But so Unreal is actually working on their own LLM trained on Unreal Engine specifically instead of just like here. It's
Yeah,
almost like
great, but this is all the class actor, right? It
right, but
grabbed the actor class from somewhere from the web, threw it in here, and it doesn't know how to use this actor apparently up front. You have to further debug it to implement the actor class properly.
Correct. I mean, what it does is it takes like a very naive implementation because I didn't I sh- I took a little shortcut the first time I did this because I told it exactly what to do. I said the game board specify the mesh. Whenever I change the dimension, re-render. So it was trying to do that, but it since I didn't give it I wasn't specifying. I just said it was just make me a game board object. I didn't even tell it to do any of that. It just guessed, and it guessed
Yeah,
nearly correctly what I wanted.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so now it says I fixed this issue. It says recompile, place a spawner, assign a static mesh, and run the game. It should spawn properly. So I'll say keep. Oh, you know what? Let me go back. Um, uh, yeah, there's a history, right? So you want to don't click done unless because it'll lose context, right? If you try again. So let's try. Let's
Right.
go back, right? And let's recompile. And I've optimized this just a little bit. So look, every time it compiles, I'm just surprised because even for me when I'm manually coding Unreal, I make so many little mistakes.
Yeah,
So it's just
yeah.
like it. I'm just surprised that it it does it just it sometimes it's not good, but it
What were
works.
those errors? Did you see some of those errors? I just
Mm.
scrolled past them.
That was my one of my extensions has an issue. It that's not an error. It's just like a pause in the
Okay.
compilation. So all right. So now if we go to the game board spawner, it said now if I specify a mesh, how about plane 1000 10. All right. Wow. Okay. Hold on. That's
I mean,
awesome.
in all honesty, though, like
Uh
Unreal
huh.
is kind of complicated, right?
Oh, it most definitely is. So
It wouldn't.
okay.
I mean, this has graphical aspects, code aspects, and
Right.
it's pretty complicated.
All right. So let's see. You know what? Let's do this. I have an idea. Delete this. The thing is that you should see. Okay. All right. Now let me take a look at the code again. What did it write? How did it fix it? So it says um, position layout. At runtime. Do this for a minute. So what is it doing? Clear all the elements. Let me clear the log. See what's going on here. So what if I? Oh, oh, okay, okay. I see what's going on. Um,
Well, before you fix it, tell me what it did.
okay, so here's the problem. Um, okay, so there's a spawn board elements, right? So it's spawning when it begins play, and clear board elements. Okay, destroy is fine, and it keeps an array of the amount, which is also fine. Spawn board element clear board. If there isn't a tile mesh, then we log no tile. Then it does all the vector stuff. That this is calculate where it's going to be. There's a couple issues. Okay, palm down static mesh component. I don't know they will want to use a static mesh component. Um, it's to a right, mesh component. Um, Let me think. So I think what we want to do is actually the problem here is this. Um, there's no the problem is tile mesh. The problem is that what do you mean by optional? Okay, hold on a second. I see the problem. I see the problem. Maybe I was doing. Maybe this was working, and I misunderstood something. Hold on a second. Um, let me delete this. Let me create. All right. Root. Oh, okay. Here we go. So, um, one of the issues is that okay. So okay. The problem is um the problem is okay. All right. When the dimensions of the board changes, create a delegate that updates the rendering. Okay, so that's what's missing, right? Like, if the dimensions change, it should clear the board and re-render the whole thing. That's kind of what I wanted to do, and I think that's what's not happening. So in my original prompt when I was working on it the other day, I gave it like very specific instructions on like, um, and I don't quite understand why it's using tile mesh components. It's still using new object. How much component? Ah, I see. Okay. Allow delegate that triggers when the board dimension other party go to respond to these changes. Yes. Yeah. Before when I was doing this though, it didn't. I didn't quite know. I've never made a board spawner, so it was actually creating tiles under here. Like it looked like this, right? The board it was like a board and then a bunch of tiles. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't necessarily want that. I just want one big board. So maybe I wanted to resize. So it one situation where I didn't know what I wanted either. So that's why it's a little confused. So
Sure.
all right, so let's try. Let's see if adding a delegate when the component changes helps. So yep, that's exactly what I was looking for. Multi-class delegate. Okay. On um. Okay. Actually, I also want to. Okay, I'll keep that change, but I will say Okay, wait. Hold on a second. Let me look. What is happening here? Tick elements. Yeah. So there's clear. Okay. So the delegate added is right here. Property change right here. So my question becomes I don't need a hook, right? I don't want to let anyone know. I actually want to um property changes. Oh, there it is. Update the visualization. Okay, so let's try this out. Um delete this again. Ah. Okay, and let's recompile. There's a lot of recompiling. So because I mean, Unreal has this like live update thing that you can do, but like when you add new classes and stuff, it doesn't work. So there's certain things you can dynamically change if you change the code, but there's a
Hmm.
whole bunch of things that you can't. So it built again. All right, so let's see if this, and at least now we can change. We can see the logs to see if stuff is actually firing. All right, let's see. No, I don't want to see the old one. All right, let's try again. One more time.
I love even, you're into this already. You actually haven't typed in any code.
Right? So there it
I
is
was
right
still
there.
trying to
See
get
it?
the first image going, but did it work?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
what?
there it is. Yep, there it is.
So let me, hold on. Um, Let me go. You know what? Let me do this. Let me file, new level. Um, Empty level. I'll save that. Let's just do an empty level. Then let me add the board spawner back, okay? Let me, so it's 8 by default. What was it, like 8 by 8? Tile size is 100. I'll do that plane again. Let's not do the plane actually. Let's do
How
box.
does Unreal Engine know what game board spawner is?
There. See
Like,
it? How does Unreal what?
how does Unreal Engine know? I mean, I understand game board spawner is just what you called it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the actor class, and it just happens to know how to set the properties of this class. In
Um.
this bottom right hand window with all the options you can
Oh, the here.
right.
You mean?
Where you set the board width, the board height. How does it know what
Oh,
did it?
you mean?
Are these default values, or is this within the
Uh,
actor class to set
right.
this?
So correct. Yeah, that's a great question. So how do these values show up as sliders and a picker, right? So
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
if you go back in the code,
Uh-huh.
um, you see how in this one there's this int board width, integer board height. There they
Uh-huh.
are, and it has this u property, and this is some metadata that says, hey, this is a value,
This is what
UI,
are you?
and so
Okay.
yeah, so this is what's giving it this, right? So
I
now I can
see.
do if I see it, isn't that cool?
Yeah, I see that.
So
Interesting.
I can make the tile size a little bigger, maybe 200. See
So
how
that
it,
like you are not
hmm?
really bound by what Unreal Engine can do. You can create things, tools within Unreal Engine. That's what this actor class is, really.
It right. It's basically, if you think about like it so um if you think about like there's things that you get out of the box, right? This is just what Unreal
Yep.
Engine does, but
Yep.
it's almost like notes in if you're composing music,
Yep.
uh, um and it's actually like programming or like creation. There are building blocks, right? Like there are only 12 notes, right? It's the combination of them, right? So,
Yeah.
and you can
So
create
what's
something new.
fascinating is that you searched for that actor class, and Cloud knew how to use the actor class.
Yeah, because right. So I said derived from actor because in Unreal Engine, an actor is it for something to appear on the screen. It has to be an actor, right?
I see.
So I just knew that because I've done some Unreal Engine, and that's
Uh-huh.
right. Like if you didn't know the lexicon, right, of whatever you're trying to create, you're not gonna be able to tell the AI what to do. The
Right.
AI actually is trained. It probably knows everything about Unreal Engine. It has all the documentation. It probably ate it all, right?
Yeah.
So, but and Copilot probably also has like been trained on existing open source Unreal Engine games, right? So,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if you noticed there's a bug here. Like I can make it bigger, And but if I make the size right, if I make the size exactly one, because that box is 100. If I make it bigger than, if I make the tile size bigger than the box, then you start seeing gaps, right? So,
Yeah, I
um,
saw that. Yeah.
so technically, it should take it should take it should take the size. I shouldn't have to specify the tile size. It should grab the size from the mesh, right? So
Uh-huh.
I can go tell it this is exactly what I did. I was kind of I was trying to make a like a chess game, you know, like where you can like a real time chess game where you can control and like
Sure.
you know, um, so I told it like um, dynamically grab the dimensions of each board piece and then also let me specify the spacing instead between the tiles, you know.
Yeah.
So there's a slight bug that if I move it, I noticed that it was yeah it because I think the delegate's firing. I need to tell it that hey, um, when the transform changes, don't like re-render. That's when you don't re-render. So um,
Hmm.
it's clearing. I think it's clearing out the array. So yeah. So if you look, this is doing it right. I just realized before I was not using what's called mesh components. I was a little confused when it created this. Like, why did it use components? Before I was just using regular ones. And it was creating these like it was actually spawning actors, and I'm like, I don't know if that's what I want. So it was smart enough to actually spawn components, which is rooted to this thing, so that you don't see it in this tree. It's pretty smart. Like I wouldn't have guessed that. But again, but since it did that, it begs the question of how do I do that? And it is really good at just going out and doing research. It isn't always right. And as a matter of fact, some things you need to do is like you need to sometimes guide the AI and say, if you go search the web and you find something that's more than a year old, warn me. It might be deprecated, right? So
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is. I mean, I can make a whole game like this. I'm like, okay, now show me how to do lighting. You know,
Mm-hmm.
create a you know, create a an actor that can move around.
Well,
You know,
ask it to put a chess piece or something.
right? So, um, I mean, I can. I think this has collision enabled, so I can literally like put an actor in here right now, right? I can put where is that at? Oh, I can go to tools. Um, light. Where's the lighting? Actor. Build light. Environment mixer, that is. Okay. Where's the environment mixer?
Is this the newest Unreal Engine, by the way?
It is, yeah. So,
Is this what Baldur's Gate 3 is on?
no. Baldur's Gate 3 uses its own engine.
Oh, that's right. They made
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So now I can just put a actor start. Let's see. Tools. Actor start. Player start. They put it right here. Uh, maybe make this not so. No, sorry. Where's the game spot? I'm gonna make this like 100 so it doesn't. Then game start should be here. Well, I've got the what? Okay, so it doesn't have collision, right? So let's fix that. See how my actor just fell right through the world.
Yep,
All
yep,
right,
yep.
so let's go back and say, well, first of all, let me save this. Um,
It's kind of funny.
yeah. um, let's see. When I okay, so at some point though, we will need to add it. There's only so much context it can keep, so sometimes I do just start a new chat. So say my player character is falling through the board. I'll be fix it. It's like a collision issue with your board tiles. Let's investigate.
Wow.
I know, it's so freaking cool.
Wow.
To be fair, I can right now I could probably do it pretty fast, just googling a tutorial. But it's just
Sure.
like, I mean, it's just kind of it's a new world, right? So
I mean, so okay, if you were to do this without Copilot or without Claude,
hmm
you would probably just go search the web for this class, copy paste it from the internet, drop it in there, right?
that's
And
right.
then,
hmm
I mean, that's really what you would do.
Or I would look for a pattern. I would just handwrite this code, right? I can handwrite this.
Yeah,
This is, I mean, looking at this, this is what I would write. Like, yeah, I would do this. Double loop,
yeah,
yeah. Do all
sure,
this, and so, so you have to like look. You have to review what it generates for sanity,
sure,
and
sure.
and optimize. So, but it's pretty damn
But I mean,
good.
I'm trying to think, like, I'm trying to rationalize it, like for you, this probably makes you, maybe uh, you can already do it. This will increase your coding speed by 10 to 25%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? Because you already know in general what you want to do, and maybe you
Mm-hmm.
just need a little bit. Instead of Googling, you have it do the Google for you.
Correct. It's literally almost like the whole it's called Copilot for a reason, right?
Yeah,
It's literally just another developer that's doing. Let me Google that for you and think for
yeah,
you, and this is what is this kind of what you had in mind, and then
yeah,
but it's sort of like a servant, right? But it's not necessarily an architect, but it can be. Like you can even in ask mode, you can like, hey, I'm looking to high level architecture plan this big new feature. How would you do it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It could give you some ideas, but like at some point you might need to like, okay, I don't like that, because
Right.
again, it doesn't have feelings, right? It doesn't. So at the end of the day, a human has to use it, and the human has to maintain the code. So yeah, definitely there is that element still. So I think the um uh
Added code to calculate the appropriate scale factor. Okay.
yeah, so board file won't being scaled to match the tile size. Nice. So the collision will unnoticed collision change to ensure that tiles are properly scaled, no gaps. There it is. Collision is fully enabled and configured to block your character from falling. So let's keep that. Let's go back. Save the
How do
save
you
the.
see in the code where it did that though?
Oh,
Like,
sorry. Before I went kind of fast, but before I hit the keep button, there was like red and green. There was diffing, like what was changing here. So
okay.
yeah. So yep. So I could see and I could even say I don't like the way you did that. Could we take another approach, right? So
Hmm.
so yeah. So let's recompile. To be honest with you, like I wish it was more hot loading, but Unity has hot loading. Oh man, and you could use the same thing with Unity. Like to me, at this point, it really doesn't matter. You don't. The programming language doesn't matter at all. It's all about like I choose Unreal because I sort of like the high end graphics and it feels very corporate to me, and I kind of like corporate. Like it feels. Does that make sense? Like it feels like big studio, and I kind of like that feel. Um, but it's totally personal preference. So let's reload that level. But because by default it
And what's the language of that you're programming? Is
what's
that
that?
the
C++. plus plus. So
that's all C plus plus?
yeah.
Okay.
And so Unity uses C sharp. So
So you got to be a little sad. You got to know at least
yeah, you right.
syntax.
Well, it's gonna write. So correct. So if you use actually Unity has a bunch of AI stuff now too. You still have to know the language, right? You have
Right.
to read it. You know, can you imagine like having AI write a novel and you can't read English. It doesn't work,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So yeah. So here's the board. Where's my player start? Here. So let's bring it down. Oop, over. Then hey. There you go.
Very cool. Wow. Amazing.
Amazing. So geez, I gotta tell you. So it is just like it just helps you iterate, like because you're not it helps you work at a higher level because you don't have to be dragged down in the details, right? But
Yeah.
so it helps you. You can even have it plan your project, like instead. I mean, and we do this at my work now. We have it write a plan, like before it even does any of this agent mode. We just say, um, create create a markdown. I want to create a new feature with a new screen that when our members when they use our exercise therapy, I want a button here that says feedback, thumbs up, thumbs down. When they click on that, we want to send telemetry to our backend, and then what I mean, and report on it and things like that. And it would just like write a plan, like, and then we could say, okay, um, go to our we use Jira for task tracking. I don't know what your
Hmm.
company uses, but so it's a go cut an epic, cut tickets, estimate the sizes, right? Tell me, estimate like based on that level and the amount of developers on our team, how quickly can this get done, dude? It just and here and Gabriel, and I understand he doesn't like PMs, but what we really need a human for is right now, um, uh, our um, our teams don't communicate very well. We just need a human being to like coordinate because right now everyone use AI within their teams, but they don't
Hmm.
use AI across the teams. So we don't talk to
Hmm.
each other very well, and without a person to coordinate with meetings and updates, it just doesn't work. So I think
Sure.
it's not. Now that I'm telling that to you, I probably need to tell that to my boss. I just realized that like, oh yeah, now, why do we need PMs? So but yeah, so I mean this it just allows you to work at a higher level, right? And like and some of the tedium, I didn't type shit, right? Seriously.
You did
So
not a
uh,
single line of code, Oak. I watched you.
so
That's
and
pretty
so
incredible.
now if you tell me could you make a game that does this, right? I just all I for me as a human, I can translate, okay, this is what we need, this is how we prompt the AI. As a matter of fact, you could even prompt the AI saying, hey, I'm just a game designer, and I want to design a game in Unreal Engine. Tell me, does that make sense? You can even have AI help you with AI. So, tell me tell me the kinds of things I need to tell an engineer to build this game, right? So, um,
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, yeah.
and,
Walk me
and
through the steps.
exactly. And you know what's
Yeah.
wild? Like I can even do this, like uh, generate an icon for jumping, right? I think this does image generation for jump. I should have said for the jump action, and this thing can actually create assets in line. So um, I haven't tried that. This is new, actually. I haven't tried this yet. I don't know. I actually don't. It's on it. Okay. So it says, I help you create an icon for jumping in your project. Let's create a simple and recognizable jumping icon that can be used in your game AI. First, I'll check if there's an appropriate directory, and I don't have one right now. So I mean, I think, yeah, I think it just takes a lot of tediousness out. I mean, you can imagine how fast you can go, right, with this. So good jump. Okay. Yep. Yeah, okay. It wants to make a directory. That's gonna fail. No, it won't. I was wrong. I didn't think it was gonna work. That is the right folder. All right. Cool. All right. You got me. Sometimes. So there, you know how I have to like click OK. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a mode where you could just if you train it really well, really trust it, it just says, okay, make this whole game, and then you can go out to lunch and come back, and the game is
I'd be
done.
super nervous of bricking your thing.
Yeah. Well, you can have a deny list of commands you don't allow, right?
Sure.
So, all right. So there it is. Run the command echo import this into. Okay. All right. Well, sure. I don't know what that's all about. So
What is it doing?
it's trying
A
to
text
generate an
file?
icon. Um, it's a simple material for the. Okay. So a material is like, think of it like a skin, right? So yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, why is it a text file though? That was my question. So now it's telling me, yeah, obviously I can't do that. So I have it telling me to go into thing, all right, and then yeah, so fine. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think what I was gonna do is use Gemini. Actually, have you ever seen this? Um, and just generate Flash. Yeah, create an icon or a video game or jumping. Gemini can do generate image. And you can make it like, I want a PNG with like transparency, right? So, and yeah, so this, it should have been ingrained in this, but there's still that. There you go. See it? So now I can just download this and import this into Unreal. Boom. So maybe oh, that's kind of neat actually. Anyway, it's gonna put some people out of business. It's out of work.
Yeah. I
So
mean, you gave it a very, very vague statement.
exactly right. Yeah, I can even say make the background white or transparent.
You pay for this Gemini Advanced?
Um, you can. This is the free tier of this. Is very
Okay.
usable. Actually, you get a ton of
I
usage.
was I was using maybe ChatGPT's graphic, but
You
they
can
only
use
give you like 10 images before it cuts you off.
yeah. For Gemini's, I think is a lot more generous with their free tier.
Hmm.
And yeah, you're right. Now it's kind of going off the rails here, but uh, you notice how it sort of hallucinated the transparency.
Yeah.
So yeah, it needs to be very specific. Um, but Gemini, I get the pro for free for a year because I bought Megan a new phone, so it came with
Hmm.
that. So I'm using her account
Gotcha.
actually. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, the free tier is very generous. You actually go to like, what is it called? You can go Gemini.google.com, or the other one is AI Studio.google.com, and here you can do more like um, stuff. Um, yeah, so you can even stream it. And what I really like is the share screen mode. So you can actually like let me do that actually. Um, actually, let's just share the Unreal Engine. Okay, so can you
Okay, what can I do for you?
can you did you hear that?
I could hear the
What's
audio,
that?
yes. Can you tell me more about what I should be listening for?
Oh, can you hear Gemini talking to me?
No, I can't hear it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can fix the stream here. Oh, desktop audio is
But I may have you muted. Oh yeah, I have you muted. Sorry, I'm
okay.
talking to you through Discord.
No wait. Okay, cool, cool.
But I may have you muted. Oh yeah, I
Understood.
have you muted.
Is
Sorry.
there anything else I can help you with?
No wait.
Understood. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Okay, let me start over again. Sorry, you have it unmuted. So okay. Let me start over again. Sorry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to I'm
Okay.
going. What Gemini can do is with this share screen is that it can look at what I'm looking at and give me some hints, right? Okay, now watch this. So I'm gonna say share screen. I'm gonna say I'm gonna share not the whole screen. I'm just gonna share the Unreal Engine editor. Okay. Hi.
Hi there. What can I do for you?
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
The screen appears to show the user interface of the Unreal Engine. Is there a particular aspect of the interface that you would like me to identify?
Sure. How do I make the change the color of the lighting?
To change the color of the lighting, are you referring to the directional light, skylight, or sky atmosphere in your scene?
I'm referring to the directional light.
Okay. With the directional light selected in the Details panel, locate the Light section. Within this section, you should find a property called Light Color. Clicking on the color swatch next to Light Color will open a color picker, allowing you to choose the desired color for your directional light. Would you like any more help with that?
No, that's exactly what I was looking for. Thanks.
Great. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Isn't that cool?
It seems you're satisfied with the adjustment you made. Is there anything else you'd like to explore with the lighting or
Alan?
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That's pretty amazing.
Um,
But how does it
whole
possibly know what? That's crazy.
in that I mean the next thing is control my mouse. Just click on it for me.
No way. Can it do that?
It, dude, that's coming. So that's the next
Wow.
step. So yeah, would you like me to click on that for you? I mean, would you like me to do that for you? I'm like, yeah, change the light. Like what color? I'm like, I don't know, a little purple, you know. So it's just, oh my god, it's just, and but okay, but okay, that that AI Studio, where'd that go? I closed the tab. Um, that AI Studio feature though, the free tier, unfortunately, that uses a ton of tokens, right? It's got to, you know what I mean? It's got to snapshot your screen, send it across, and it has to process each frame of your screen. So it's a lot more expensive. But with the Pro account, it works a little better. But the Pro is, how much does it cost? Actually, how much does the Gemini Pro account cost?
I do not have access to the pricing information for Gemini Pro. Is there anything else
Oh,
I can
sorry.
help you with?
Okay, so sorry. You have to click on this little button. See that says grounding with Google search. If you do this, it can search Google. Google can search Google. So okay, let's try again. Hey Gemini, how much does a Gemini
How?
Pro account cost?
What would you like to know about Gemini Pro?
The cost.
There are different pricing options for Gemini Pro depending on your needs. Gemini API. They have a free tier with lower rate limits for testing. The paid tier has higher rate limits and additional features. Gemini 1.5 Pro. As of October 1st, 2024, there was a price reduction on input tokens, output tokens, and incremental cache tokens for prompts less than 128K tokens. Gemini.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
Is
So
there anything else you would like to know about Gemini Pro?
yeah, I have the
I don't know what any of those. What is that? What is a token? What does a token?
yeah. So
What
the
constitutes
yeah.
a
So
token?
when you send it like a prompt, right? When you say, "Hey, can you search something for me? Can you find
Yeah.
the lowest price on this?" It breaks your words up into tokens, right? And same thing when you upload your voice or you upload a picture,
Uh-huh.
it breaks it into tokens and how many based on because if you think about like
Certain things are more complicated than others.
exactly because like if when I ask it something, it every time every time this conversation continues, it has to send everything all over again. Does that make sense? It
Yeah.
doesn't have a memory. So it just gets bigger, and the conversations just get bigger and bigger. And at some point, you run out of tokens, and you have to start a new conversation. So that's what they're talking about. So the longer the conversation, the more expensive it is. So
Mm.
I'm wearing them. Here you go. I I think somebody took mine. So Gemini Pro. So it looks like, yeah, we're um and even the Pro isn't unlimited, right? I still have some limits, but it's just I think way higher than the free tier, like, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I not
Oh, cool.
so yeah, so I have. I don't like the way this is formatted. The business is $20 per user. So 18. Wait, yeah, I have this one. I have the Google One AI Premium. I get this for 1 year for free. Yeah, the 2 gig storage. Yep. So, oh, you want to see something cool too? Here, watch this. Give me a. Let's go to YouTube real quick. Not that YouTube. Yeah, this YouTube. Wait, this isn't it? Edge. Where's Edge at? Here, this one. All right, so go to give me a build in BG3. We're looking at Hexblade, or
Sure. Yeah.
let's do the Shadow Sorcerer. Shadow Dork. Yeah, build. Okay. All right. Let's see this one. Let's look at this one. So just copy the URL, right?
Baldur's Gate 3, Patch 8.
Copy and I'll go to Gemini. I'll go to the chat. This one too. Let's use the Pro experimental. I don't know. We don't need deep research. All right. And I'll say, give me summarize, and then I'll just paste in the URL. Okay.
No way.
And it says, yeah, check this out.
No.
I did this for Riley
way.
earlier. The video explores the shadow magic sorcery in Baldur's Gate 3. It subclass overview, race selection, equipment. Now write a level by level guide. All right. Okay, sure. And look, this is a document, Google Docs. So it tells you core concept. Level 1, do this. Cantrip, spells. Here's your background. Level 2, do this. New spell, recommended. Level 3, do this. Unlock level 2 spells. Level 4, level 5, level 6. Isn't that cool? And then, look, export to docs. So I can save this in Google Docs. I did this for Riley earlier she wants to play Hexblade, and I just printed it so she has a guide for the game. Isn't that neat? Like, oh, level 8. Alert. Okay. Recommend another 4-level spell. Ice Storm, Confusion.
Huh. Interesting.
Use cantrips for damage in early game. Mage armor for defense. Magic missile. Mid game. Leverage darkness. Eyes of the dark. Cast darkness on yourself and attack within it. Hound Omen to debuff key targets. Use meta magic, especially to run a quicken for action economy advantage. In the late game, combine darkness with the ever sight ring. The problem here is that the transcription, right? So, you know what I mean? For new invincibility within your darkness. Use Shadow Walk positioning. Yep. Unleash power from the booster back from the not the head. It's the hat of fire acuity. Use the Hound of Element frequently. Yeah, pretty cool.
Still very impressive. It broke down basically how it was written.
Exactly from the transcript of the YouTube video. Yeah, so this some videos don't have transcripts. I noticed that CNN stopped providing transcripts for because I
Probably
totally
for
get
this
it.
very reason.
What's that?
Probably just to get away from AI messing
Exactly.
with their stuff.
Because you know what I'm doing today is that I go to YouTube, right, and I see a long like news thing, and I'm like, Judge, see this one, for example, this one, like maybe I don't want to watch it. just give me the gist, right?
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
copy this and go summarize, please.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then there goes your views, right? So,
Yeah.
but
That's true. Well, it gets one view. Gemini watched it. I don't know
what?
if it counts for
No, but
ad money,
it
but
technically didn't, because a lot of them you have to stream through the whole thing. There's even like metrics of like people dropping off during the middle of your video. You get dinged for that. So
sure. Sure.
most people want you to stay to the end to like click that like and subscribe. So
Sure.
but yeah, it's definitely changing the way people consume videos. So, but I think this was more fun than playing game now. So, but
Well, it was interesting.
I don't.
But it was
I mean, there's a lot of hype with AI. I get that, but day to day, it's really helping. And I was Megan starting to make a lot of sales with her insurance, Barra Insurance and pre-need, and I tell her, like at Hinge Health, we use AI internally for our care team. We have PT, physical therapists, and our member support that, they have a big caseload. People say, "Oh, my back hurts. I just got surgery on my knee and it hurts," and I have my neck, my neck hurts, my shoulder hurts, and all day long they're just dealing people, in pain, and at some point you get tired of like showing empathy. Does that make sense? Like, so we actually use AI to like assist our folks to make sure that they stay on script. Like, hey, remember to say this, remember to ask this, right? So, and it kind of analyzes the conversations and just prompts you to like, to be more caring. And the thing is that it's totally like, I know it sounds weird to have a machine tell you what to feel, but it's like you forget, it's just the volumes is just so much. And so so I think it's really being helpful in that respect. We use AI for that a lot. But the really some of okay, this is kind of company insider stuff, but don't
don't tell me. Okay.
No, I mean, I'm guessing at what we're doing. I don't know definitively, but I think where it's going is that we have so much health data on our customers that we know, like, if you're in this demographic and you hurt your back, chances are you're gonna hurt your shoulder, right? So why not just like, hey, you're doing these exercises now to fix your back, but how about we weave in some shoulder work even though it doesn't hurt right now, right? So and it's just like, it's just like business intelligence for healthcare.
Yeah.
So
kind of scary.
Yeah, it is kind of scary. So but yeah, definitely. I mean, AI is the thing. I definitely, you have played Gemini, fine, but I don't, for your work. I mean, obviously, you can't just. We have an internal like chatbot that we can, because we can't send private health data through ChatGPT. That's public. We have a contract with OpenAI to use ChatGPT, and they won't share that data with their other customers. So it's very expensive actually. So yeah, so that they're making money that way. But yeah, for your work, I mean, if you for general productivity, if you don't ask it like company confidential information, you could use it. But definitely, we're now like trying to we're trying to get a whole handle on how we use AI still. So but it is very productive. So we have these hackathons, and the last 3 have been all AI. So we AI everything.
Get everybody on board on using it and how to use it, and basically increase productivity right across everybody, the whole company.
Definitely, yeah. It's a big booster, and just there are just some things that developers don't like to do, like writing tests, unit tests, and it's just the AI is so good at writing tests, so amazing, like comprehensive tests, and not helping review code. It's really good at those things, and it's really what I was gonna ask. The part of the problem is that like we still need humans because like there are still certain things that it doesn't know, right? It doesn't know. Um, it still doesn't like how do I say this? Um, there are there are new technologies coming out, and um, it isn't proactive still. It doesn't like, I guess you could create an agent to do it, like, what's the next 2.0 version of our app look like, kind of thing. It still requires like I feel like it still requires an actual software architect, pretty high level one, to say, what's the cost benefit of moving to a new platform or something,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
so AI can help assist that, but I think it takes sort of a human with some vision to, like, because they the AI doesn't feel anything. It just does things, and that we when we code stuff, if it's hard, then we complain. The AI does not complain, so
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't feel like the same fatigue that we do, and so definitely, yeah, there are some, but I think that at the end of the day, there are metrics. Our app is slow, right, for our members. So what can we do to make it faster? And does that, does that involve maybe architectural changes, or, or changes in our um, the way third party, do we just spend more, where can we spend money to make our app faster? And it can answer those very targeted questions, but sometimes it doesn't have all the context of, have you ever think about just maybe using something else, like a different tool. So maybe it doesn't know that.
No.
Right, exactly. Or it may know, but it's kind of hit and miss because of all the hallucinations. So,
Sure.
but yeah, so I think there's still some. I feel some hope of, like, yeah, maybe human beings around. Okay, a little longer. So,
Yeah.
not for much longer, but yeah, definitely.
No, I mean, I mean, the
So
tutorial you just walked me through.
yeah,
I mean, you haven't played too much with. I mean, you're obviously much more advanced than I, but and even you had some stumbling blocks.
right,
So I think
exactly.
you're fine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but it's,
It,
yeah. But you're right. I mean, the thing is, but the nice thing about it is, even as you use AI, I'm gonna look at all the code it creates, right? And
right.
oh, so here, so right, so I could even do this. Like, now that this is done, sort of, right? I can say, I could start a new session. I can say, go to ask mode and say, hey, explain how the game board spawner works, right? And then it goes through and it says it's gonna do its thing, but it's um amazing. So basically, it'll give you an overview. I watch it and I kind of briefly scan the code, but and I don't know if you noticed this. Did you see how many comments it creates?
I did see the comments. Yeah.
This is a clear telltale sign that AI wrote this code, because usually human don't write this many comments. Some people do, but not many. And so I actually had a meeting with our with one of our senior architects, and I said, hey, do we want to, we have a thing where, like, we don't like comments, right? That's because it's, but I'm like, does it matter at this point, right? Who cares, right? So let's just
Why
leave it.
don't you guys like writing comments?
Well, it kind of pollutes the code, right? Like, it's just one more line. Like, why wouldn't we need comments? If I'm a developer, I know exactly what this does. This just declares an f name component name that does this. Like, why does it need to do? It's obvious, right? What this does
I
to
see.
me.
Sure.
And so
Sure.
why is this here? It's because AI. Because the a lot of people in the old days used to add a comment. What is that called? They wrote pseudocode first, right? Then
Right.
they filled the actual implementation. So that's exactly what it's doing. And we were arguing that you can actually prompt the AI to say, don't create comments. You can do that, but it's like, does it matter? So, and it's, some of these are stylistic things, right? So, but it also, we store this. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, these are bytes. So it costs us something to have them. So
Insignificant though, right?
it's insignificant, actually. It doesn't matter. But but it could add up after a while. So I don't know. So, but anyway, so so it says, hey, this is Unreal Engine Actor, dynamically creates and manages a grid-based game board. Here's how it works. It has a board root, it has tile component, it has board properties, configurable with. It constructed creates a component. During begin play, it automatically spawns the board. It creates the board by clearing any tile, check to see, and it kind of like it gives you like a walkthrough, a high level walkthrough of how it works, right? So it's, I mean, right? I'm kind of blown away. So and the thing is that you can use this to look at existing code, right? I can, if let's say I want to actually contribute back to the game Unreal Engine code itself. If I didn't know how to do that, now everyone can be an Unreal Engine expert, right? So I think
know to write this in C++. Did you? Is it just because you? How did it know that? Why did it not choose to do everything in like Python or something?
Python or C#, yeah, because Unreal, right? So Unreal Engine, so you know how like the models train on information from the web. You know what I mean? It just goes and scrapes the web and throws in there. This model, I believe, has a cutoff date, like maybe last year or something, like from Anthropic. And one of the sites it's scraped is probably the Unreal Engine 5 documentation. So when it saw when this is Unreal Project, it just goes and reads the whole damn document site front to back, and of course it's going to know it's C++. So yeah. But yeah, so and the fact that it can like it I don't know if you saw that there were several passes where it says, oh, I made a mistake, let me correct that, and the fact that it didn't have any compilation issues, that is just wild to me. So because I mean, as a human, I make typos all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's just like shit don't compile. I'm like, I forgot something, or if you look at like look at the syntax of this, right?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
who's gonna?
I'm looking.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
eyeballing all of those double colons, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean that won't forget, but like this is what's called a macro. So what this actually does, it expands it under the hood. It generates a ton of C++ classes, right? So it's just like insane. So it's called like an expansion. Imagine like as they're compiling, it actually copy and paste like 3 pages of code here, So but yeah, I mean, who's gonna remember the syntax of all this stuff? And who wants to type it all? So that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
Like this little star behind this, without this star, it's fucked, right? So this is called like a pointer. Like this is a pointer
Right.
to a use static mesh. If I don't have this, it won't compile, right? So it's just insane. So I mean, the thing is that as you type, sometimes like for example, if I forget, like let's look at C++ postcard this one. I need a bigger one. This one. If I forget like this, right? Look, there's still a little red squiggly. That means I made a mistake. So that's the old school way. That's how I'm used to it. Like, oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot a star here, right?
Sure.
So.
Sure.
But I mean, with AI, it's like fuck that. So, but yeah, I hate these syntactical things. So it's really bad in C++. In other languages, it's not quite as bad. So, but yeah, it's all the ampersands like this and this little and symbol to dereference it. So if this is a pointer to, then this is a address of. It's so I know C++ fundamentally. So I took the course before this, and to be honest with you, C++ Unreal's version of C++ is so much better than just straight up C++. So it's there's some it has some what's ergonomics that makes it a little easier to use. So just straight up C++ just straight up sucks. As a matter of fact, if it was like standard Microsoft like Visual C++, I would just have gone crazy and I would never have moved here from Unity. But yeah, there's some. I mean, it's still C++, but it's like a nicer flavor of it. So if that makes any sense. But
Sure.
but yeah, I think it's at this point, Alan, it's about. I mean, I can even have it like what do you want to build, right? Like to
Okay.
I at this point, if I wanted to build a World of Warcraft MMO, I could. Like it would just like spit out all the things I need to do. I mean, it might be like 10 pages of plans, but it's possible to build. The technical barrier, it's kind of like been way lower. It's just whether you want to or not. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, um, but so yeah, definitely. I mean, you can even like have it work backwards and say, I want to publish a game on Steam. The game is XYZ. But that is the whole thing of I just don't. I'm so enamored with the tooling. I'm just like, I don't know what to build. I'm not inspired. I just like. Does that make sense? It's like having such a cool saw. I'm just cutting pieces of wood. I don't know what to build. So, if that makes any sense. So, look how quick I can cut these things. But I'm just inspired. Yeah. So right now, and to be honest with you, like I've been doing a lot of Unreal actually on the side. I've been kind of like playing hooky on some of my work, and just loading Unreal Engine, and then the AI thing hit, and actually let me show you this one. So I'm trying to like refocus back to work. So and we're doing some.
You need to download. Well, make me a game, Oak. I want to make, except I don't want to use Unreal. I want to use. See if there's anything on. How do we get Baldur's Gate editor?
Oh, oh, you mean the mod, the toolkit?
Mod, the toolkit, the level editor.
Um, yeah, I have that actually. So
See if there's. Can you? If there's code to use that.
there's a little bit of scripting at least. So
That's
actually,
what you need to do, because
uh,
I want to make a custom campaign.
okay. Well, let's ask it. Let's ask Gemini. Where is how do I go home? New chat. There we go. Updated. Let's go 2.5 Pro experimental. Sure. Um, let's see. Oh, you know what? Let's. I like the other. I don't like Gemini. I
I
like the AI
love
Studio. This one. Stream. Here we go. Stream.
Baldur's Gate is so much fun. I love the game.
You know what,
But
Alan? I felt the same way about Neverwinter Nights way back in the day.
yeah,
And that game is still around. Can you believe it?
that's what I'm saying. I think that if make a custom map and then
Yeah.
accept donations to play it, and it
Yeah.
would be awesome.
Yeah. That's a great point. Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Because you can't charge for it, you're gonna get sued, right? But I think you can accept donations.
I would like to create a custom campaign in Baldur's Gate 3. How do I do that?
I'm sorry, but I can't assist with creating a
Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn the search on. Sorry. It needs to. I don't know why this isn't on by default, but odd. Could you provide a step-by-step guide on how to create a custom campaign in Baldur's Gate 3?
Creating a custom campaign in Baldur's Gate 3 involves using the game's modding tools. Here's a step-by-step guide based on the available information. 1. Acquire the modding toolkit. Larian Studios released the official modding toolkit with patch 7. To unlock all features, including level editing and save editing, you can use the BG3 Toolkit Unlocked mod by Siegfried on Nexus Mods. 2. Install and set up the toolkit. Make
Nice.
sure.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Yeah, so you can imagine. Okay, so it says. I mean, I kind of knew this. Like, I have the toolkit through Steam, and run the game. Ensure Steam is completely closed. Yep. Unlock. Yep. Launch instant. Yeah. So I mean, Oh, did you see that mod? What is that called? Wizard and Weave.
Mm-mm.
I sent you that. This is really cool. Like this mod isn't a custom campaign. It just adds some custom um um dang it, what is that? A mod. Sorry. So there it is here. So it just adds a bunch of equipment to the game, right? Like this ring, right? Oh, wait. This I think some of this might be OP, and these are just like check out this hood, Al. Where is it at? Here, this one. Look, here, hood of the Archmage sets your wears intellect to 20, and gives you magic resistance. So it and basically if you enable this mod, it just randomly throws these items, and basically there's a custom icon, right? And there you can just create a 3D model for the player. So it's this is kind of cool, right? So
Yeah, it is.
but yeah, we could. I don't know what it takes to mod. I think there are still some limitations, but like
Well,
you could
I'm sure there are. I would be amazed if it could do it.
yeah. You can just use that like share the screen and say, hey, walk me through how to create a simple simple mod in Baldur's Gate 3, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, probably
because like legit, I would just here's what I would do. I would make a Game of Thrones campaign and just be like, take the story of Game of Thrones, input it into Baldur's Gate 3, and you have a crazy storyline. You know what I mean? It would
yeah,
be pretty cool.
yeah, that would be cool. Hmm. Yeah. Huh. All right. I think about it. I think about that. So, um, yeah, yeah. So you're fighting amongst different houses, and then there's a bigger threat of undead or something, right? So
Yeah,
you have to D and Dify it or something. Maybe different guild, think of different
sure.
guilds or different factions, right? So
Or even like, I don't know. There's a ton of cool stories. You don't have to reinvent the wheel,
mhm.
because like obviously I'm not that creative on story writing, but like you could do quite a bit. Like Harry Potter, right? Harry Potter's it's a children's story. It's pretty easy, pretty cool
Uh-huh.
actually. And you can make an evil version where Harry's evil